Hey, people of God. I come to you just to talk about some things that's on my mind. In my moments of in the spirit, or in my moments of being with God, and He's saying, we gotta read with understanding.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Lamar Avenue.
When we read the Bible, we have to read it with understanding. Like, if the Bible is telling us, well, the way I look at it, this is the image that I have of the world in the spirit. The same way, like all the apostles and everybody before us, they spoke of God in
At the light, turn right onto Lamar Avenue.
how they see it, because Abraham was reckoned as God's friend, as righteousness because he believed. But Abraham was Abraham. Jesus Christ was Jesus Christ. Moses was Moses. Muhammad was Muhammad. And so forth, everybody that comes into the name of the Lord. So
continue on Lamar Avenue for 3/4 of a mile.
We have to understand that the Spirit, only God understands His true intent of what He has planned for the world, because in these worlds that, imagining in Jesus' time, they will not ever be able to see the world being like us. Can't imagine it. Now imagine us imagining the world, because every single year you can tell the world changes. After a certain amount of years, the image of the world changes. But we grow up in that image. So when we read with understanding, we only understand the image that the world we live in shows us, because we haven't seen anything different.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Tuggle Road.
That's like people talking about the rapture and how it's to come and how it's supposed to look. You're not going to know how it's going to come or how it's supposed to look unless you're there. And then when you're there at that very moment, you be like, that is that. Because at the same time, you at that time read it.
At the light, turn left onto Tuggle Road, then turn right.
Or at that point, you have enough understanding to know the signs of it and when you see it. Because the same thing, like how we try to depict the mark of the beast, but we depict the mark of the beast in the way that we want to think about it.
Turn right, then turn right.
But it will come a day while it's happening, you're going to be like, oh, yep, this is it. You got to take the word of God with understanding and apply it to your time as if this is the truth and not this is a past story. Like, you can't apply it to your life and then be like, oh yeah, this part is fake and doesn't apply anymore, and this part does apply. See, it all applies, but you gotta reach it. First understanding is believing God. You have to believe the word of God, and you got to know that
in a quarter mile, your destination will be on the right.
The words that God speaks are not emotional. Let me say that again. The words that God speaks are not emotions. So to tie some words are emotions, when he speaks of how Israel has disappointed him because they're not listening to the truth that he tells. Like, imagine you telling the truth and the person you're talking to cannot believe you are telling the truth. It's a rough feeling. So we got to read the Word of God with understanding. But it's the understanding that we have as the people that speaks within the Lord. Some of us are a little bit more zealous than others, but at the same time, you're still pushing the Word of God. Something that matters. You're keeping Christ alive.